I guess you guys are also reading CCSing later on, which is one of the best things you can do in this world, because Chaitanya Charitamrita is like the treasure of ISKCON. And so we are reading the glories of Haridas Thakur, chapter 3, we just finished today. And at the end of the chapter, there is before Maya personified comes, there is a small in-between section where there is a pastime with Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur. And it's mentioned there that Advaita Acharya, he was calling, he was worshipping his Shalagram Shila and offering Gunga water and Tulsi leaf to the Shila. And he was praying very, very, very hard. But also, Haridas Thakur also, in his cave, he had a very special cave with a beautiful Tulsi plant. And he was crying very hard with one goal: how we're gonna deliver these conditioned souls? How will we be able to bring them out of this material energy? So that's actually one thing that is good, that is the most powerful to do before we go out. It's actually to have a strong sadhana, because as you probably know, there's 4 laws of book distribution. Get books, get organized. The more you show, the more you sell. And your sadhana must be strong. So it's one of the most important time in the day. At least for us, it's like the japa time, where you just and that's gonna set up your whole day. Actually, even in the 2nd canto, part 1, Srila Prabhupada talks about this. He talks about the process of hearing and chanting a lot. And in the 1st chapter, because Shukadev Goswami, he asked his first question, he asked, how was the process, when a person is about to die? How can I fix up my consciousness? What should I do with my life when I'm going to die in 7 days? So the process mentioned is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. That's the main process. And Prabhupada mentioned in one of his purport that this process, actually I'm going to read it to you. It's going to be better than trying to paraphrase. So for those who keep scores at home, I got the book here. It's 2.1, 2nd canto, chapter 1, text. Oops, text 5. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shwatavya Kyatitavyascha Smartavyas Chichutabayam. O descendant of King Bharat, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries. And then later on, Prabhupada said in the last paragraph, this process of hearing about and glorifying the Lord is applicable for everyone, whoever he may be, and it will lead one to the ultimate success in everything in which one may be engaged by providence. And then another sentence which is quite nice. All a person's activities become molded into spiritual activities by his hearing about and glorifying the Lord, and thus all conceptions of material miseries become completely vanquished. So these two things are there, very similar. So all our activities, maybe they are mundane activities, but according of how we hear and how we glorify the Lord, they are molded into spiritual activities. It's quite fascinating, So we can see from this purport that actually our foundation of spiritual life and how we improve is based mainly on hearing and chanting. So we hear, but also we need to glorify. And as you know better than me probably, rice and dal. Rice alone is quite good, no? Dal is quite good also. But when you mix the two together, then it creates like a reaction. And then there is like much more nutrients and vitamins that comes out of it when you start taking it. So hearing is very good, chanting is very good. But then when you do the two together, when you do Shravanam, Kirtanam, so you hear these books in association with devotees or on your own, you try to take them to your heart, and then you give to someone, you repeat them to someone in the streets or someone you know, a colleague, a friend. And then what happened there is that the process of remembrance comes, and Krishna enter your heart, he start to do the cleaning. So that's what happened when we do Sankirtan. There's like, it's just mind-blowing actually. It's mind-blowing for you and it's mind-blowing for the people, because if you actually did good japa, if you had good association, if you took like some very nice prasad, then the people, they can see it, they can see it in your eyes. Wow, this person is actually, he's doing something that, and that's actually people what they're looking for. They say, okay, this person he has something more that I don't have, so I want what he has. So we are able to display our books like that, and in this way we can please Srila Prabhupada and make the world a better place to live in, and actually reduce the anxiety of the Lord also. So yeah, these are the few points. It's quite condensed, but that's probably the best moment of the year. For us is the best moment. It's like this 1 month where we can focus on one thought, and how to please Srila Prabhupada, how to be more Prabhupada conscious. Because after what happened is that the more we distribute, and then the more we can hear. So at the end of December, we can, and we do better rounds also. We chant better, we can hear better. We become, because we don't think too much about ourselves, but more about others, then we find less faults in others. And we find better good things in others. So this is a very powerful process. And yeah, let's do it together. I heard that we're gonna do some Sundays together, and can't wait for it.
Haribol, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, we are indeed very looking forward to the Sunday Sankirtan. So thank you so much, Prabhu. You've touched up on so many significant and important things, such as, having a strong sadhana, how it helps to, how it sets up our day, the importance of hearing and chanting, and the foundation of spiritual life. Hearing and chanting, and we need to glorify. And especially really liked your analogy about the rice and dal, how the rice and dal creates a really nice reaction. So like this, hearing and chanting together, it creates a more powerful reaction. And then the last point you made, when we give it to someone, and the process of remembrance really starts, and our heart starts clearing up. That is so significant, Prabhu. So thank you so much for sharing all those vital details and motivating us in this. I think Ashish Prabhu, will you be sharing a video?
Yes, Mataji. So we'll share some videos. So it's wonderful that we heard from Prabhu. So now we'll just hear some videos from Srila Prabhupada, and let me just share it. So we are just seeing the video of Srila Prabhupada. He's talking about like how book distribution, what is the good points about book distribution.
That if you get some money, you print books. So, there was a private meeting talking, some of my important God brothers also there, it was in Radhakunda. So, Guru Maharaj was speaking to me that since we have got this Bhagavajar marble temple, there has been so many dissensions. And everyone is thinking, we'll occupy this room or that room, that room. I wish therefore to sell this temple and the marble and print some book. Yes. So I took up this from his mouth, that he is very fond of books. And he told me personally that if you get some money, print books. Therefore I am stressing on this point. Where is book, where is book, where is book? So kindly help me. This is my request. Print as many books in as many languages and distribute throughout the whole world. Then Krishna consciousness movement will automatically increase.
Here, everyone is engaged to rise early in the morning for offering aratri to the deity. They are preparing nice food, they are decorating, making garland. So many engagements. They are going for Sankirtan party, they are canvassing for selling books. 24 hours engagement. Therefore they are able to give up this sinful life. This kind of objection are always made by the atheist class of man. Even Jesus Christ was crucified. So this is a material world. You will find always such nuisance class of men.
It must cost you a lot of money to go travelling around the world all the time.
Yes, we have got about 102 branches all over the world.
Where do you get the money?
We get money from God. We especially get money by selling our books. You have seen our books.
If you can't charge...
We are selling, according to Indian exchange, we are selling about 25 to 30,000 rupees worth books daily. We can spend all the money of the world. Unfortunately, you do not give us anything.
So for the time being, the money will not be used for the construction in Mayapur. It will be used to print books.
Mayapur, they have already taken 1.5 lakh from me.
Now Gopal Krishna in India requested that BBT give him a loan of $160,000. In India, just this during the Mayapur festival, he requested a loan from a US BBT for $160,000, which would be used to construct the second residence building.
So how will you pay back?
His plan was that the American temples would purchase rooms, and over a period of 4 or 5 years, they would pay that money back. So is that still approved by you, by your divine grace?
Yes, I have known that.
The only thing is that we will have to delay the loan, because for the next 3 months, all our money will be used to print these 17 books.
Festival books, then loan. However, we cannot hold up printing, that is not possible. This you must always keep in view. We are not going to, the surplus money we are going to pay.
Not that at the cost of stopping printing. You must always keep it. When you require money for printing, there is no question of loan or temple. This will be our.
So this was on the books, right? So also how the books are printed, we'll see this one. This is a big video, but we actually just doing some parts of this, like how these books are printed, because we are distributing books, so we should know as well how it is printed and how many things are done behind the scenes.
This recording is then transcribed. In the composing room, devotees retype the text on computerized machines that transfer each typed letter into an electronic code. The codes are recorded on magnetic tape, and any language can be composed in this way.
Can you make it full?
The tape, with its coded information, is now fed into an electronic computer. The coded impulses from the tape are stored in the computer's memory bank. Then the computer activates a photo typesetter. The typesetter converts the stored codes into light-sensitive impressions on photographic paper. When the paper is developed in a processor, the resulting image looks exactly as it will appear in the finished book. The typesetting machine can run off more than 2,000 characters per minute. At this rate, the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, as Sukadeva Goswami first spoke it, could be reproduced in 24 hours. The layout man cuts the photographic paper to page size and mounts it on artboard. Next, the page is photographed on a reproduction camera. The retoucher removes any blemishes from the negative. Before the book is printed, blueprints are made of all the negatives, and the blueprints are carefully proofread. Meanwhile, during this entire operation, the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust artists illustrate verses and purports from the pages of the Bhagavatam. They begin with pencil sketches, portraying the scenes exactly as they are written. These sketches are sent to Srila Prabhupada for approval and then traced on canvas. With great care and devotion, oils are applied. The artists have to work quickly to keep pace with modern book production techniques. This painting, for instance, took only 2 weeks to complete. For reproduction, the finished painting is photographed with a special studio camera. A reading on a color analyzer assures that the colors are correctly balanced on the final print. devotee technician programs a computer processor which automatically develops the print. Next, the picture goes to the layout department, where it is scaled to the proper size. The book is now ready to print. At this point, page proofs are checked for accurate color reproduction. After being printed, the books are stored at the BBT warehouse in Los Angeles. From there, they are shipped throughout the world.
Okay, such an amazing video, like how the books were made, because it's of different languages, so it's very difficult to print those books where Sanskrit and English are combined together into one in one book, right? So it's difficult. So now we'll see His Grace Vasishka Prabhu's video, and
We're embarking on another great expedition to Lord Chaitanya's movement to expand Sankirtan all over the world. We're going to distribute at least 3 million Bhagavad Gitas worldwide, and we're going to do it by working together. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given unlimited energy to anyone who asks for it to spread the Sankirtan movement. So in every continent, we're asking everyone to gather your inventories of Bhagavad Gita together and find out the ways and means to make sure that everyone in your town, everyone in your country gets a Bhagavad Gita. 3 million is a preliminary number, but it's our next goal to get us where we want to go, to cover the earth with Bhagavad Gita. Please join us in this campaign. We're working together and we're going to distribute the Bhagavad Gita as it is to make the world a better place. People are going insane because they don't have this knowledge. Let's help them. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
so this is what is their global goal, which is 3 million Bhagavad Gita distribution in this marathon 2022. And the one last video we'll see about Vasishka Prabhu, how to distribute Bhagavad Gita. So
Ashish Prabhu, can you make it bigger size?
We're talking about how to distribute a Bhagavad Gita, and it's easy. You have the Bhagavad Gita, and it has everything in it that you need to show or explain. There's pictures, there's great personalities on the back, and there's universities in the front. It's all about show and tell. That's all you have to do. Hare Krishna. When you meet people, make eye contact, because just by looking them in the eyes, you can see whether they're interested or not. It's a ripe fruit philosophy. If they look like they're ripe and they're open, talk to them. And if they're not, let them go and leave everyone with a good impression. Ask people a simple question. Hi, are you from around here? If they say yes or no, doesn't matter. Just say, please take a look. We're showing these. When you hand the book over, it's good to have a mantra. And as the book is being transported from your hand to their hand through the air, if you say a simple mantra, which tells them what's in it for them, that allows them to open their hand and receive the book. Here's a simple mantra that I use when I present. These are books on yoga and meditation that show you how to get free from stress. It's a book on yoga and meditation that shows you how to get free from stress. I say that as I'm handing it over, as they're taking it into their hand, they're hearing what the benefit is to them. Just after handing the book over, ask them, you've heard of stress before, right? They'll say something like, yeah, of course I have. Then you say, but your eyes look spiritual. What's your secret? When they tell you their secret, tell them, here, let me show you really quick. Take the book back and begin your show and tell. Build credibility in the book. Just show them the back. Thoreau, Emerson, Gandhi. You can add Martin Luther King Jr., Albert Einstein, and the Beatles, and then show them the front. USC, Georgetown University. They all have comments inside the book. This builds credibility. Turn to the changing bodies picture and show them that we're just passing through. We start here, we end up here. Life's a quick journey. Where are you in all this? Show them the self-realized person who treats everyone with respect because he or she sees that God's in everyone's heart. Show them the picture of the man with a cow's head and a cow with a man's head and ask them if they've ever heard of karma. What goes around comes around. Violence breeds violence. Generosity breeds generosity. Ask them, what do you do professionally? If they say, I'm a truck driver, you can turn to this picture of the yogi and say, this guy used to be a truck driver. Just after you've done your show and tell, you've shared some humor, close the book, put it right back in their hands, and then you can engage them by asking for a donation. Asking for a donation is easy. Just tell them, we don't sell it like at a bookstore, we just take a donation. You can also suggest they cost us around $8 to print, so anything you give over that goes to help spread spiritual knowledge all over the world. Tell people, we don't need the money. The only reason we ask for a donation, when you give something in return for spiritual knowledge, you get special power to be able to read the book and good fortune. Here are a few tips about how to distribute a small book. It's really easy. Just hand it over, and while you're handing it over, say, it's a book on yoga and meditation, and we just take a donation. Give whatever you can. After they buy a book, teach them the Maha Mantra. Ask, you believe in the power of prayer? When they say yes, say, I'll teach you this prayer from the ancient Sanskrit. It's meant to wake up love for God in your heart, and have them repeat the Maha Mantra 2 words at a time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. After they buy a book, always give them prasadam. Everyone loves prasadam. It's our secret weapon. Never leave home without it. Always thank people for taking their valuable time to stop and talk to you. Leave everyone with a good impression, and if they're friendly and want to know more, take down their information so you can get back in touch. It's that simple. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ashish Prabhu, for sharing such amazing videos. I think we're running a little early, so I just wanted to open up to the audience here. Does anyone have any questions? Because we still have Ananta Kripa Prabhu online with us. So if anyone would like to ask any questions, you can kindly raise your hands. There's anyone?
I have one question for Prabhu.
Sure,
So,
Prabhu.
yeah, so Prabhu, so you distribute so many books, like, and also you said that you went to Chelmsford last week, and there were so many people who took the books, right? So, any instance which you remember, which which can inspire us to distribute, like you say, while distributing on the streets, any of the thinking which you can say, any pastime which happened, and how we can distribute more as well.
Yeah, well, actually, one of the first thing we heard from the people in the high street in Chelmsford was that, oh, you guys are here, what are you doing today, you know? Because most people, they see us only in central London, you know, doing Harinam, and that's what we're famous for. But, and actually there was one lady that, how do you say to me, oh, you guys, Hare Krishna, I think you should open a center here, you know, you should come here and do something in this town. I say, Chelmsford really need a Hare Krishna place, or, you know. So few people were like that. And so yeah, we finished all our big books actually on that day. That was very, very successful. One thing that happened is we met the nephew of Tribhuvannath Prabhu, who is quite famous in the Hare Krishna movement. So we met this guy, and just he was very happy to see us, obviously. And yeah, he took a bunch of books and just left. And at the end, the last book that we did was quite formidable. I mean, you say that I was distributing many books, but actually I don't personally distribute many books, but I like to speak to people, you know, speak nicely to them and give them a good understanding of what we're doing here and what is it about the main philosophy, and give them a good impression also, as Vaisheshika Prabhu was saying in his video, which is the main thing, because if people appreciate the Hare Krishna, then it's going to make a very, very big impact in society at large. So yeah, this last book we did, so it's, I don't know, you probably know Chelmsford better than us. It's just when you come in the high street, just next to Pret, there's like a small alley, very, very small, is like a tunnel, and then you come into the high streets. So I was there, and the Rodata Prabhu stopped a guy, and I was just next to him, so I just say, oh, okay, let me listen to him. And the guy, if you just listen to him conversation, was like, he was not interested at all. There was like completely no interest to what Deodata Prabhu was saying. And so he was asking this question, okay, what do you do? He said, well, I'm studying, I'm doing philosophy, and some other subject he was doing. So he just went on the subject of philosophy. Oh, this is very nice for you, Bhagavad Gita, you know, is that the philosophy of understanding oneself, you know, of actually being more mindful in life, all these things. And I think he even opened the books to him, but the guy, he didn't sound very, very interested. So I was, in my head, I was like, oh, okay, it's okay. It's again one of these guys, you know, but then he handed the book to this person, and the guy say, oh, okay. And then, so he say, well, so do you sell these? He said, well, no, we don't really sell them like in a bookstore. That's usually what our line, how we describe when we ask for donation, we say that we don't sell like in a bookstore, but we sell at the price cost, right? So we say, well, he said, well, it costs 10 to print, we give a donation. And the guy just completely out of nowhere, he just say, oh, okay, I'll give 10 then. But he was not, the whole conversation was not interested at all. And then, so the guy just tapped on the card reader and just went away with the Bhagavad Gita. And Deodata Prabhu would say to him, well, if you don't want to read it, you can pass it to a friend or something. And then as soon as the donation was done, then I heard in the back there was like a loud Haribol and Gauranga, and oh, he's here. And he brought some books also. Sure. and so there's like, oh, Gauranga, so, and then around the corner there was the other three boys. They were just looking also at the conversation. And then they were just praying very, very hard for the guy to take the book. So there was just like three brahmacharis just praying very hard and just looking at us. And the guy was getting very fortunate by having this Bhagavad Gita. So last Saturday, it was a very nice place actually. There's not much of the charities. We just saw another charity that came at the end of the day, but they also got books themselves, so that was nice. And yeah, people are nice. There's different kind of, family, student. There's people from London also. So it's nice. You see a different range of variety of people. But yeah, it was a good experience.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. Indeed, we all rely on prayers and mercy when we're on street.
Yeah, and it's actually is very powerful because that's probably the only service where you're out there, and the only person you can rely on is like Srila Prabhupada. You can pray to Lord Chaitanya. So you feel you get out of your comfort zone. You need to rely on someone when you are out there, and that's the beauty of it, because you don't know what's going to happen when you pray like this. But then the idea is that to understand that we're not the doer, and actually we are just instruments of the previous acharyas, and ultimately going back to Krishna. So if we feel in that way, then, and if we are staying with this humble mood, then Krishna can send us many people. Actually, I experienced it again today. We were at university today. We had a nice book table, and I didn't do long because I had many other things to do, but I just came for like 1 hour, and I just at some point I just prayed. I just said, please, if you're worthy, if I'm not worthy of very much, but please, can you just send me someone and see what happened, and a person to talk to distribute some books to explain the philosophy. And then this lady, she came and she actually wanted to give us something. And I just ended up talking to her, and then we chanted together the mantra. She took Mahaprasad. She had the books already, but I just encouraged her to read. And I had just explained her, like, she had a deeper understanding of what's Hare Krishna about. And I invited her to our studio. So yeah, people don't have these things. The only difference between them and us is that they haven't read this book yet. So and then another person came today also, a guy. If I can share the screen, I can show you the photo, sorry, of this person. Is very enthusiastic, but I don't know how to share the screen. Maybe
can Anantakripa Prabhu be made co-host so you can share the screen?
And anyway, I stopped him. He's dressed in like completely purple, and I say, "Oh, hey, bro, you know this color, purple? This is the color of wisdom." So the guy had to obviously, had to stop, and yeah, he was very happy. And then at the end, that's where it took. Can you see?
Yes, Prabhu, we can. Yeah.
So I gave him the science of self-realization at the beginning, and I say, yeah, you can give a donation. And then he started talking about like Egypt and pyramids, and I was like, wait a minute. He just rang a bell to me. At the beginning of 4th chapter, Krishna, he says, I instructed this science, the sun god Vivasvan. And then Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind. So I said to him, well, look, you look like a very intelligent person, but this wisdom is actually very, very old. It's been explained to the sun god millions of years ago. And he said, I want this book. He was like, I need this book right now, you know. So he took the book, and I said to him, well, just give a donation. So he was like, because he's a student, he's working at the same time, he's probably low on budget, but he didn't want to give much. But I said to him, look, if you give now, it's not for yourself, you know, it's for a higher purpose, a higher cause, you know, so you can just give and that's fine. He say, oh yeah, okay, no problem. And then, I don't know if you see, but it's like 2 other small books. These are like Arabic books. I said, because he's like, he's a business people, so he like to give, you know, the process of giving to people. So I say to him, you can distribute these books. So that's nice when you meet people also in the streets, you can make them book distributors as well. You can turn the other people in book distributors by just giving them, and you just instruct them. You say, okay, you give these books to friends, and then they get the mercy as well. They get, and then the whole thing becomes like an explosion, you know. And then I gave him like a free little book also. So yeah, like this. He was happy. We said Goranga together, and yeah,
That looks
hopefully he's
amazing.
he's gonna open them. And yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing all those, especially the photo. It looks amazing. Thank you, Prabhu. So now I would like to invite Shruti. So we have few devotees who would like to share their book distribution realization. So Shruti, and then we'll have Rasana Gopal Prabhu next. Shruti, are you available?
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna, my dear. Over to you.
Hare Krishna everyone. And I would like to share my experience on book distribution. So I've been doing it for a little while as well with my friends and my dad. And it's a very fun experience where you can actually engage your literacy skills. It gives a boost to your confidence, helps you with public speaking. And it's very interesting as well to meet new people. And it's overall a very exciting experience. It doesn't sound very interesting by its name, but it actually is much more fun because when you meet new people and you explain to them why are you giving them these books, they actually do appreciate it. So it just reminds me of one experience of when we were like me and my friends and my dad were going to these apartments, to these different houses. So we went on this door, and of course, before knocking the door, we remember Prabhupada because after all, Srila Prabhupada, like in the video, always emphasized on the point of book distribution and how essential this is, and that books are the only way that people can actually get this message properly. So we always remember Srila Prabhupada before knocking a door, because if he gives us the blessings and the ability to encourage the other person we're going to meet, then it might just become a bit successful. So after remembering Srila Prabhupada, we knocked on the door, and the person who we met was first not so happy about getting the books. They were first very reluctant as well. And they were just asking, like when we were explaining about the books, they were saying, okay, these are very good values and everything, but how do I know that you are importing these values in your life actually, which is another very essential point. So me and my friend said that we are importing these values. Actually, we come from Avanti Court Primary School, and we actually do read these books, memorize these verses, and apply them into our day-to-day lives. So the other man asked, so can you give us an example on one of these verses that you know? So we told him about 9.26 in Bhagavad Gita, about the verse and how essential this verse is and how we should actually understand the depth of the verse. And that man was Indian, so he actually got so inspired by the fact that we're not just giving out books, we actually apply them ourselves and encourage others to apply it as well. So he called his entire family, his children, and everyone to come and actually see these books. And it may just feel like a little thing that, oh, we're just giving them a book and they're just giving some donation if they want. But it's not that tiny actually. It's a matter of probably changing the other person's lives, because these books can really impact them. And he was so impressed with the verse and how these books are really, really impactful. So he brought his children as well, who also wanted to read the books, and he said he will make sure that they will read these books and apply the what it says in the book into their lives, because they said they do really need this, because people are not aware of it. Like some people of our culture as well, they're not aware of what it's actually all about. So giving these books really reminds them and really helps them into their day-to-day lives. So that family actually was very inspired by those few books, and they even happily gave some donation. And it's actually a very fun experience, because sometimes people don't open the door straight away when there's just adults, but when they see us children and when we try to explain it to them, they do actually sometimes understand what we're trying to say, and they actually appreciate it. So it's a very life-changing experience for the other person. And some of them appreciate it so much, because especially we do this near Christmas time. So one day when we were knocking on someone's door, they liked the fact that we were doing this selflessly out of our way, and they gave us a little Christmas card as well, saying thank you for coming and giving us this very important knowledge. And that just shows how people really appreciate it, and it's not a very tiny affair for them, because they feel like it's such a great thing that we are coming out of our way to do this for them. So they do actually sometimes give little Christmas cards along with a donation. And of course, donation is just for the printing costs. So they actually even understand that we're just printing more books to help more people and make more people stress-free. And actually, by hearing the words leading a stress-free life, they actually become very happy. And they actually appreciate that we are giving them exactly what they need. So especially that family was very happy with books that we gave them, and it was a very moving experience for me as well as for them.
Oh, that's amazing, Shruti. We are so proud of you and your team. You know, you're an inspiration to all of us. Like, again, you've shown how prayer to Srila Prabhupada is really important when we go out there, and how, we completely have to be dependent on, the prayers and mercy. So thank you so much, Shruti, for such an
Thank
amazing
you.
experience. Next, I would like to invite Rasanova Gopal Prabhu, if you can kindly share your experience of book distribution, please, Prabhu.
Krishna Madhi, Dhanat Pranam. Hi, Krishna everyone. Thank you, Madhi, for giving me an opportunity to share about this wonderful, glorious service of Prabhupada book distribution. Last year was one of the best moments we had in distributing the books. Most credit was to all the children, because they were the inspirers to all of us. They were from the beginning, from the front, leading all of us. In fact, last 2 weeks of December was super amazing. Children are holidays, and we have some off from work. So all went like a team with lots of books. I think in that aspect, some of the ideas what Vaisheshika Prabhu shared was amazing. Go in big teams, go with a lot of books. That was one principle we applied and really worked. When we go in teams, one thing we felt was we definitely don't feel bored. In fact, we feel more inspired, thinking that, I should do more, that kind of more comes up. And moreover, when people open the door and see all of us like that, spread across the two lanes of the road, they also feel that, that we are doing something good for the society, and they also appreciate it many times last year. And some people, I remember, one of the person, English lady, and the area, she took that book and she felt so happy that later on when I met her in another program in Avanti, almost like a couple of months back, she remembered us saying that, you all came that day and you gave this wonderful book to us. It really changed our life perception and everything. So she became, she's an English lady with 2 children. She became a good devotee of Krishna now. And she also is pushing now from her part, the importance of the books to others as well. So definitely, last year was a memorable one by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. We were able to distribute many books, and children are already were saying, we are waiting for this year as well. But let's go out and do more than what we did last year. So definitely, children helped us a lot. As Shruti was said, it's a fun, fun-filled event. It's not like a board, but if you go in groups, teams with lots of books, then you'll really feel Krishna, the British mission as a fun-filled joy event. So that is one thing. And moreover, sometimes we had a doubt as well when we came across people of other religion. What will they think? But thing is, first of all, seeing our effort, they were inspired. Actually, they were inspired seeing our effort in the cold with children. In fact, they came. That made them the motivation factor for them to come forward and take a book. And they were even donating very generously as well, because it was Christmas time. In fact, it was a double joyous moment for them as well. So that's how the doubts, whatever we had with other religion people also, was removed just like that. And moreover, other thing which we implemented was, no matter a person takes a book or not, we normally try to place in his hand or her hand, because when they touch the book, obviously the magic happens. That's what Vaisheshika also said. So it really worked in our case as well. Most of the time they took the book because they felt obliged, okay, like someone is giving something and they can't say no. And moreover, they also felt, we are taking that extra effort to spread this knowledge. So it was really nice, and hopefully this year also we are praying to everyone. We request all of your prayers and blessings so that we can distribute as many books, in fact more books than last year, and spread this wonderful and this wonderful service to Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Madhuri. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Rashanava Gopal Prabhu, for sharing such an amazing experience and all the advices you've just given. Certainly, we will remember those, especially the importance of someone touching the book and the magic just reacting. So thank you so much, Prabhu. So now I'd like to invite Rasaraj Gopikesh Prabhu. If you'd like to share your experience, please.
Hare Krishna. Personally, I'm not a very good book distributor. I don't have many wonderful experience, but I can remember one thing, like in a couple of years ago, like 3-4 years ago, when I was distributing books door to door in Hornchurch. I happened to meet one black-bodied person. Like he was telling, when he saw the books, he realized, oh yeah, I'm actually life member of this organization. He lost touch with ISKCON for many years, but just looking at those books, he said, yeah, I'm the life member. So he remembered those things, and then he took some books and then gave some donation. So we don't know whom we come in contact with, and they will. That actually gives us it inspires us these kind of experiences. So that's what I can remember. Yeah, hopefully, for devotees' prayers, we'll do a little bit more effort to distribute books, and please, Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, that's it. So I thought of sharing a video by His Grace Mahatma Prabhu. This was given recently on Mr. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance day. He was speaking on that importance of book distribution, what actually means for us and for the Guru Parampara when we distribute the books. But anyway, if time has, probably Ashish Prabhu can share. Yeah, do you have some time, Prabhu? So actually, this is a kind of continuation from Srila Prabhupada's video when he was instructing, please distribute books. It's kind of probably I think Mahatma Prabhu was also there, part of that video.
I ask you, you give me the wrong
Can
answer.
you hear?
I tell you the right answer because
Yeah,
it helps you.
you can hear, Prabhu. Yes.
Oh, I gave the wrong answer. Why are we distributing books? Save the conditioned souls. We needed to purify ourselves, like the whole thing, right? No. We are distributing books because we want to see Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur smile. It is for his pleasure. This is why we're doing it. Of course, there's so many reasons we're doing it, but Prabhupada wanted to make this point that ultimately we're doing it to see our spiritual master smile, to make him happy. So whenever you get mental about book distribution, just think, this will make Prabhupada so happy. You just give someone a book, tell someone about his books, tell someone about Krishna, give them a mantra card, give them some sweet, anything you can do to give Krishna consciousness. It'll make Prabhupada smile. And if you can make Prabhupada smile, that's it. What more do you need? There's nothing more than that, right? So that was Prabhupada's mood. If we can make Srila Bhaktisiddhanta smile, we're successful. And you ever hear these lectures where Prabhupada's thanking his devotees for helping him? Do you know that? I think one of those lectures has gone viral. It was on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's disappearance day, I think in December of 1969 in Los Angeles. And he was describing how I had no idea that I would come to America. I had no idea you would come here. This is all the grace of my Guru. And then he breaks down and he says, and I have to thank you more. In other words, you're doing it, not me. He's thanking his disciples, said, I'm not doing it. You're doing it. You're helping me fulfill the order of my Guru. And that order was so important to Prabhupada. And his disciples were helping him fulfill that order, that he choked up in appreciation that his disciples could help him fulfill that order because it was so important to him. So that's why he said, we just want to see him smile. Smile, that's it. If I can make my Guru smile, wow. What more could I ask for? So you give someone a book, tell someone about a book, tell someone about the Maha Mantra. Prabhupada is smiling. For sure. And you can feel it, isn't it? I have to tell one story. Do I have time for one story? Well, we're not eating breakfast, so it's like, no problem. I love those fast days, you can just go on forever. So, it's when is it? It must be like November 1971. The winter in Canada, colder than the UK. Well, maybe not colder than Scotland. But it's cold as Moscow. If you go up in northern Canada, it's as cold as Moscow in the winter. So, we get this message from Prabhupada. If you, any disciple, if they will go anywhere and everywhere and preach Krishna consciousness, not considering how they will live and where they will live and what they will eat, I will take the dust from their feet and put it on my head. Well, we heard that, we've like fainted. And when we woke up, we got in the van, filled the van with books, drove off into the night in the middle of the winter with no money, just enough petrol to get to the next town where no one has ever been. And we arrived in that town at 8 o'clock at night in the middle of the winter, and there was nobody on the street. And no one had ever distributed Krishna books until we discovered how to do it, like big books. We discovered how to do it like a week before. And so now it was filled with big books, the Mission Impossible. No one knew how to distribute big books. We thought this was impossible. You can't do it. Get on the street, there's nobody, one drunk on the street. 8 o'clock at night, it's like, 20 below zero, whatever. And this devotee, who was the lead book distributor, who ran with this idea of big books, he goes up to this drunk, and we're thinking, this devotee was eccentric. And we thought, you're really eccentric. Try to distribute a book to this drunk, And like 3 minutes later, the drunk gives him $8, takes the book. And so, it was such a rare thing to distribute the book. The first Krishna book I distributed, I got so excited, I couldn't find my way back to the van. It was like, Prabhupada is so pleased. This is like, so we felt it. We felt, with every book, we felt like, this was like Like distributing a Krishna book in 1971 is like giving someone a set of CCs and Bhagavatams, they're walking away like this, like how you feel, just some guy in the street, he's balancing these books and you're taking photos like, ah! So it was like that, and then it just was amazing. This letter, we were like intoxicated. We just felt intoxicated. And then Prabhupada wrote a letter and he said, book distribution is real intoxication. It's like, how did Prabhupada know that? Because that's how we felt. So much reciprocation. So that's the idea of book distribution, whether you're good at it or not. It's just that we want to see Prabhupada smile. And you just go out there, he's smiling. Even you don't even distribute a book, he's smiling. Right? Because you're showing the book and people are benefiting.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So as Prabhu was telling, so nice. Hopefully we can distribute some books and then make Srila Prabhupada smile and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur smile as well. And feel the reciprocation. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Rasaraj Gopikesh Prabhu, for sharing this amazing video. Really, it's really inspiring, Prabhu. Thank you. So, Ashish Prabhu, I would like to hand over to you now for the last part of the program, the presentation by your Sankirtan team. Over to you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you everyone for presenting. So we'll just take not much time because we will just provide you some information about book distribution, how it can be done, where it can be done, just to give some ideas about like different things. Is most of the things have been covered and that can be repetition, but it's something which we can cover. Let me just start this. And can you see the presentation?
Yes, Prabhu, we can.
Okay. So, so as it was said we saw some videos, like it was Prabhupada, like was said by his spiritual master, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, if you ever get money, print books, right? So actually Prabhupada took from his mouth and he started distributing books because after hearing from his spiritual master, right? And his one mission was to actually distribute everywhere, every town and village, and start distributing and printing more and more books. So first thing what we need to do when we have to distribute books, actually get books, right? So we have to get books from store. Like this is for the Sankirtan devotees who want to distribute books, right? We need to get books, right? We need to get books. What is the next thing we should do? We should set up a goal for us. Like what is our goal? How much we'll distribute? That is the second thing which we need to actually think of, right? After getting books. And in that process, what we can do is we can engage our family. Whole family can be engaged because as it is said, everyone should be involved. We are engaged in the books distribution. Then we are thinking about Krishna and we are thinking about our acharyas. So we should actually plan for an event, which we will be planning is like every weekend we will be going out. Weekdays also will be going out. So we should plan an event calendar, like when we should be going. So marathon officially starts from 1st of December. So we should plan our things accordingly, like we plan every holidays, right? So like that we need to plan. And we should make a sankalpa, like how much books we will distribute in that period of time in the marathon, because we saw there is 3 million goal, which is there. So which we can be part of it, right? So we can think and distribute. So before we distribute, we should organize our books, which we can actually make into different categories. And we should think which spots are good for us, where we can actually go and we can actually distribute, like different places where we have not explored. So new places, like it is, if we have seen new places, we can go and distribute as well. So those things we need to spot out. And not only for experienced devotees, actually it is for new devotees also, where we can pair up between new devotees and experienced devotees, so that we need more and more devotees to come into book distribution, so that actually we can inspire new souls to distribute, and also many people can be part of this organization, right? And the best place where the new devotees can stand is when we have a book tables. The book table should be proper, right? Like when we have a book table, we should like keep like a yoga meditation book shop should be there, like where there is a good display which we can have where, and there if the new devotees are standing, then it is easier for them to explain and distribute, because people generally come to that store and ask for different things, right? So we can have new joiners there. As it was said by Vasisika Prabhu, show and tell. The more we show, the more we actually can tell and more we can sell. Sell in the sense we can distribute here. So we should actually try to inspire by keeping a book table. And when we sell, like when we actually distribute, we should always think that we can distribute in bunches. Like we should create some pack of 3 books, small books, or else when we are giving books, we should give them, if somebody is giving 10 pounds, then we can actually give them more books, depending on what we can actually sell. So we should do in bunches rather than giving one small book. We should plan for packs. And various places which we can display books as well. We should think of different places where we can reach out to when we can go for parks. We can go for a library where we can actually display books. We see there are different types of books which are there, like Bible, and also we can actually go and see if we can get a place for Bhagavad Gita also, so that once we display, people can go and read in there as well. Corporate Sankirtan, last year also we got some corporate Sankirtan where devotees from the community approach corporate, which is more and more corporates are now coming and getting involved in this thing. So we should explore corporate, because they are planning about yoga, meditations, stress-free lives. Those things are more important for corporate life nowadays, and they are getting separate funds for it. So we can actually go and try and approach our companies and see if they can be involved here. As we have heard from Shruti, like Kids Sankirtan is a big thing which we have, right? Like when kids go and do distribution, they are like examples for other kids. They are example and inspiring other families as well. They are the big book distributors for us. So we should actually ask our kids as well to do little bit of service. So where else we can actually distribute is like hotels. We actually can do in hospitals, hostels, and also in schools, which we can try and see, because everywhere they will have something for different culture. They actually are inspiring them. And also it is seen that when we have those Bhagavad Gita in those places, people read, especially hospitals, right? They read there, and also because they're into different pains, and also they are thinking about different things, but Bhagavad Gita can help them. We should think that if we have any festival and events, there we can see they can give Bhagavad Gita as a gift to someone else. We should approach those things, those people who are doing festivals, so that they can actually do the prize distribution in terms of Bhagavad Gita to the kids. So different languages as well we can approach, not about only we have various language of books which we have, like in Arabic, in different languages. We can actually try to approach different people in different languages and see which language suits them, so that we can try to distribute books there. There are a lot of contacts which we have with us, right? So we can actually do a contact calling, contact collections, which we can do. We can those things we can try, so that we can at least do 5 or 6 call every day, and then we can call them and see, because there are huge contacts which we'll have. We can try and inspire them to distribute, to take books, to give to their friends, because Christmas is also coming. They can actually give them. Connect with the connect to follow-up programs. Like when we are having different programs, we can actually connect with them, and whoever we have done programs earlier, we can reach out to them and say about Gita. and about small books, about yoga, meditation, higher test, these things we can tell them. If they are not interested, or if they are interested also, we can ask for referrals. If they have any person who they refer us, because if we directly go and connect to them, it is difficult for them to bond with us immediately. But if we give the name of somebody, it is very easy for them to actually connect with us, and they will may give some donation, they may take some books. We are so much socializing with different platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, and for LinkedIn, Twitter. So we should use those platforms to publish these things, so that people reach out will be more, and the more people can get into it, more donations will come, more people will take books. So Gita Jayanti also, because one of the reasons Bhagavad Gita is being distributed in December is because of Gita Jayanti, which is coming this year. It is 3rd of December. So the Gita can be sponsored by various peoples, and the Gita can be distributed as well. If they want to distribute, they can distribute, or we can distribute for them. Or there is a Gita project also, which can actually distribute for us. So they can involve in any ways if they want to. So one of the video which for Gita project, what happens if somebody distributes books, we can just show a few minutes.
We place Srila Prabhupada's books in lots of different organisations, such as
The books are all sponsored and are given to the Gita Project by ISKCON London and Bhaktivedanta Manor. We label every single book so that organizations can communicate with us. Over the last few years, we have placed around 20,000 books every year.
you can help by calling to place, label, pack and deliver these books. If we place 27,000 books this marathon, the Gita Project will reach an important milestone of having placed 100,000 of Srila Prabhupada's books in many different organisations. So please join the Live to Give campaign and sponsor more books so that we can place them. Thank you.
So the books are placed in different places. Also, there is Gyan Vidyadhan, where like Gram Vidyadhan, where it is actually distributed to villagers, like kids in village who cannot pay for these books, but they get books, they read those books, and it helps them to grow as well. So what does this last part is like about preaching, like why we preach. Preaching means giving things. And as it was said earlier, why we should preach. When we preach, we should give a good impression as well. So when we are distributing books, we are preaching. And when we are distributing books, we are actually, should be mindful that we are actually part of ISKCON. So we should be giving a good impression to them. We should treat people with respect. We should always offer kind words to them. And practice reflective listening, like we should actually listen to them as well, so that the bonding can happen. And we can make people special, like telling about them, like praising about them, that makes people special. And also we express gratitude about them. We should be humble, and we should try to, after doing all these things, we should take their contacts information so that we can actually connect to them later as well. And once we are done, we should always thank them to give us the valuable time, because we are taking their time, maybe 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So we are taking their time. So we should always thank them. As Vaishika Prabhu said, that we should always have some prasadam with us. If they take the books or not, they take the books, we should give them a little prasadam after we speak to them. And always we should leave with good impression. So this is what is Sankirtan. Sankirtan is easy and fun. We should be making it simple. So that is about the Sankirtan, Mataji. And we can actually pray for the whole East London, and also we can pray for whole ISKCON everywhere, so that we can distribute 3 million books, and also we can achieve our offering target. So I will ask everyone to pray 3 times. We can do 3 times Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, so that we can at the end of marathon we can achieve our goal, and we can dedicate this to all our gurus and acharyas. So everyone 3 times we can say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Prabhupada ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish Prabhu, for such an informative presentation. We've certainly learned so much from this, and seeking everyone's blessings and prayers that we can achieve our goals this year. So I'd like to hand over to Vivek Prabhu now to make any announcements and then close today's program. Hare Krishna, Vivek Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes. So regarding the announcement for this week, as Ashish Prabhu said that after Damodar month, we have a very glorious month of Gita Jayanti and entire Gita month. So that will be our priority now. But before that, I will highlight to focus on the Gita Gyan classes. So we are also starting Gita Gyan classes. So total there are 12 classes. So 4 Dwarka Dham, 4 Jagannath Dham, 3 Mathura Dham, and 1 Ekchakra Dham is starting their class all from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. So I hope all your contacts and friends, relative, whoever wanted to join this class, please encourage them to join. If they have not joined, please, this is the last chance for this year if they want to join. So we will pray and we will say big Hari Bol to all the facilitators who have come forward for this wonderful services. So each class will have 2-3 facilitators. So they have dedicated their time, means precious time for their personal hours. It's working hours, continuously 18 days. So it's very big contribution from all the facilitators. So we will say 3 big Hari Bol for all the facilitators. Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
So after that, as book marathon month is coming, so we will do the Gita program also, like Gita home program. We have PPT and everything like we did last year. And as Ashish Prabhu said, our Sankalpa for this marathon, we will publish those things, and we will work together as a team and to achieve the entire ELBB level, because we are working closely this time with Soho Temple. So we will do the distribution under the guidance of Soho devotees and try to achieve their goal also in combination. So this is 2 things. One thing more is regarding the temple services. So temple services in December, we have to come forward for weekdays. I can see weekend services are now full. Some few devotee has taken, but for weekday breakfast cooking, still many days are vacant. So I will request devotees, please come forward. If you can manage your office little bit late, or if you have holiday, then you can cover those period. But please come forward and do this service. It's very rare to get such services in temple. So that is humble request. So this is all about announcement, Mataji. So I'm just checking if we have Bhaskar Prabhu or Pramita Mataji, if they can show us the Jagannath Darshan.
Sure, Prabhu. Just give me a second.
Thank you, Mataji. Now we will have a darshan of Jagannath. And we'll take the blessings.
Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki. Shri Shri Panchatattva ki.
Jai. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadrama, Jai Sudarshan Chakra, Jai. Thanks, Pramita Mataji, for giving us the darshan of these Jagannath and all these deities, Gaura Nitai. So all the Gaura Nitai are placing at your house, and it's blissful actually.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for actually this is a blessing of Yamuna Srimati Arvind Krishna Prabhu. We are really enjoying their presence.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you all devotees for joining. So we will meet again next weekend, next Monday, again on same time. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thanks, Deepa Mataji.
Hare Krishna.